Welcome to the 10 Days Before Christmas, a collection of modern BL short stories, told softly between falling snow, quiet lights, and those small moments where everything can change. Each day leading up to Christmas, a meeting, a pause, a confession, a simple story, but never an ordinary one. Take a breath. Settle in. Here is today's story.
Day 2, the temporary roommate clause. Liam discovered the problem because his groceries were already in the fridge. This was concerning but not yet catastrophic. He stood just inside the doorway of his apartment, grocery bags digging into his palms, staring at the open refrigerator like it might blink first. The milk was on the wrong shelf. His yogurt had been rotated so the expiration dates faced forward. Someone had even grouped the vegetables together in a way that suggested intent, planning, possibly judgment. Then he noticed an unfamiliar boots by the door. Then the unfamiliar coat. Liam's brain offered several explanations in rapid succession. You're dissociating. You sleepwalk now. The building has ghosts, but very tidy ones. Then an unfamiliar man suddenly emerged from behind the island in the kitchen, holding a jar of paprika like he was in the middle of a very personal debate with it. "Oh, hi." Liam shrieked. It was immediate and undignified, the sound of a man whose soul had briefly exited his body. His grocery bags hit the floor, apples scattering like panicked accomplices, and Liam grabbed the first thing his hand landed on, a wooden spoon. There was a half-second where his brain stalled. A spoon? Why was there a spoon by the door? Why was there ever a spoon by the door? Had he wandered out here mid-cooking like a haunted Victorian child? Was this a new stress response? Had his fight or flight instinct dramatically misunderstood the concept of self-defense? He stared at it, still breathing hard, arm raised. This is not a weapon, his brain supplied helpfully. This is a utensil. You are about to threaten a stranger with soup. Liam tightened his grip anyway in a full defensive stance, heart hammering, arm raised ready to strike. I've seen enough crime documentaries to know that's enough. "Don't move," Liam snapped, knees bent, prepared for combat. The man slowly and carefully raised both hands. Marcus took in the scene in a single efficient glance, the grocery bags on the floor, the apples rolling slowly away. The man in front of him, wide-eyed, defensive, holding a wooden spoon like it was a weapon of last resort. Okay, Marcus thought, so this is how I die. Not dramatically, not heroically. Beaten to death over a rental dispute by a man wielding cookware. He resisted the urge to point out that the spoon was clearly meant for stirring and not, in fact, blunt force trauma. Correcting someone mid-panic felt unwise. Instead, Marcus raised his hands higher and adopted the calm tone of someone who had spent a surprising amount of time de-escalating tense situations. "Okay," Marcus said calmly, "I'm not moving." They stared at each other. Liam, breathing hard, gripping the spoon with murderous intent. The stranger, tall, composed, dark-haired, blinked once. "Oh well," Marcus said carefully, raising his hands a little higher, "let's all acknowledge that no one here woke up today expecting to be threatened with kitchen utensils." Liam did not lower the spoon. "Start talking," Liam said, slowly. Snow fell outside the window. Somewhere, a Christmas song drifted faintly through the walls. The aggressively festive wreath on the door watched without remorse. "I'm Marcus," the man said gently, "and I believe this is the part where I explain why I'm in your apartment." He inhaled, choosing his words with care. "I live here." Liam laughed. It came out sharp and hysterical. "No, you do not." "Yes," Marcus replied, temporarily. The word hit Liam like a thrown object. "Why?" Marcus glanced toward the counter where a neatly stacked pile of papers sat beside Liam's mail. "Temporary roommate clause," Marcus said. "That's not possible." "It's usually not." The realization hit Liam like a slow-motion disaster montage. His brain performed the equivalent of a system reboot. The amended lease, the email, the one titled Quick Admin Update sent 2 days after he signed, the one Liam had skimmed because it was December and he was tired, and it had been framed as a formality. Oh,
Liam whispered. Oh no. Liam dropped the spoon and yanked his phone out, fingers flying as memory clicked into place with a sinking, nauseating clarity. They stood in silence while dread settled comfortably in Liam's chest. The amended lease. He scrolled, and there it was, buried deep in cheerful legal language, festively worded, polite. In the event of an administrative overlap. You absolute snake, Liam whispered. Marcus walked over and leaned in slightly, peering at the screen. Yes, that's the part, Marcus said. That was not overtly pointed out, Liam said. No, it was not, Marcus agreed. Liam exhaled sharply, dragging a hand down his face. So what, you just showed up? Marcus gestured vaguely. I was not told the other tenant might already be here. I live here. I know now, Marcus said gently. Liam groaned. The apartment suddenly felt microscopic. One couch, one bathroom, one extra man who was not supposed to be here. They called the landlord immediately. Speakerphone, no mercy. Hi, yes, Liam said tightly when the call connected. This is Liam from Unit 3B. There is currently a man in my apartment. Oh, yes, the landlord chirped. Marcus, lovely boy. Liam closed his eyes. You did not tell me that you would be invoking a temporary roommate clause. Well, it was in the lease. It was buried. It was festive, the landlord corrected. Marcus mouthed, I'm so sorry. This is my home. I signed for a long-term lease. And you still have one, the landlord said brightly, just with a bit of seasonal flexibility. That is not a thing. It is now. How long? 10 days. Liam stared at Marcus. Marcus winced sympathetically. I will be filing a complaint. Oh, of course, the landlord replied. After the holidays. The line went dead. Liam slowly lowered the phone. Marcus cleared his throat. If it helps, I make excellent coffee and I'm rarely home past 8. Liam laughed. He couldn't help it. It burst out of him, sharp, disbelieving, a little unhinged. Liam laughed again, a little unhinged. This is a hostage situation. They established rules immediately. No touching each other's food, no personal questions, no emotional bonding over Christmas movies. Liam taped the rules to the fridge. They shook on it. Marcus's hand was warm. His grip was steady. Liam noticed far too much. The first few days were chaotic. They collided in doorways, reached for the same mug, discovered the shower pressure changed dramatically depending on which sink faucet was on, accidentally brush hands more than necessary. Once, Liam walked out of the bedroom in pajamas and caught Marcus mid-stretch, shirt riding up just enough to reveal a strip of well-defined abs that Liam absolutely did not need to be thinking about. Sorry, Marcus said, not looking sorry at all. Bathroom, Liam muttered, fleeing. Somewhere between shared breakfasts and passive-aggressive thermostat adjustments, the apartment softened. Music played low, gloves dried by the heater. Marcus fixed the flickering bathroom light without being asked. Liam cooked without comment and always made too much. Liam found himself watching Marcus without meaning to. The way he leaned, the way he smiled slightly before laughing, the way he always seemed aware of where Liam was in the room. They broke Rule 3 on the third night. Hot chocolate, a movie, shared laughter. You don't strike me as a Christmas person, Marcus said. Too many expectations. I like quiet traditions. Liam glanced at him. Like this? Marcus smiled. Exactly like this. By the 6th night, the tension was no longer subtle. They sat too close, knees brushed. Marcus's arm rested along the back of the couch, not touching, but close enough to feel like a decision. What? Liam asked when he caught Marcus staring. Marcus didn't look away. You hum when you concentrate. Very charming. Liam's stomach flipped traitorously. On the 9th night, the power went out. Candles flickered, blankets wrapped around shoulders. They sat on the floor, knees touching, warmth unmistakable. This ends tomorrow, Liam said quietly. Marcus nodded. I know. I don't want it to. Marcus turned fully towards him. The space between them shrank. Marcus's gaze dropped to Liam's mouth and lingered just a fraction longer. Liam leaned in unknowingly. They stopped an inch apart. Breath mingled. Heat spiked. This is a bad idea, Marcus murmured. Yes, Liam agreed.
The kiss was soft, careful, warm, a question asked and answered in the same breath. Marcus's hand came up, hesitant, then settled at Liam's jaw, thumb brushing his cheek like he was afraid to startle him. When they pulled back, foreheads touching, Liam laughed quietly. "Well," he said, "that complicates things." The power came back on with an obnoxious beep. They startled apart, breathless, laughing softly at the interruption. Morning came too soon. Sunlight filtered through the curtains as Marcus pulled on his coat, luggage by his feet. The apartment already felt wrong, too quiet, too empty. They stood by the door. "So," Marcus said, "this is the part where we pretend this was just a lease issue." Liam shook his head. "I'm terrible at pretending." Marcus stepped closer. The goodbye kiss was slower, fuller, a promise tucked into the press of lips, into the way Marcus's hand settled at Liam's waist like it belonged there. "Text me," Liam said. "I already planned to," Marcus replied. The door closed. Liam stood there for a long moment, then turned back to the apartment. The wreath still judged him, and for the first time since December began, Liam smiled like something good was still coming.
Epilogue Marcus. Marcus had known something was wrong the moment he unlocked the door. Not wrong in a catastrophic sense, just incorrect. The apartment was warm, lived in, too singular. There was no second bedroom door. He stood there with his luggage bag in hand, staring at the space like it might rearrange itself if he waited long enough. One bedroom, one couch, one small kitchen that clearly belonged to someone who cooked with intention. This was not what he had assumed. The email from the landlord had been vague: temporary roommate situation, shared occupancy, brief overlap, and Marcus, foolishly optimistic, had pictured a two-bedroom setup, separate spaces, minimal friction, professional politeness. Instead, there was a single bedroom and a couch that had definitely not been purchased with long-term sleeping arrangements in mind. Marcus exhaled slowly. He should have called immediately. He even took his phone out, thumb hovering over the landlord's contact, already rehearsing the conversation in his head. Calm, firm, logistical. This was clearly an error. Then he noticed the photo board. It was mounted near the hallway, casual, a little crooked, clearly added overtime rather than curated all at once. Polaroids, printed photos, ticket stubs, a pressed leaf taped into the corner like it mattered. And Liam. Liam laughing, caught mid-motion. Liam with friends at a pride parade, arms slung around someone's shoulders, eyes bright. Liam standing in front of a half-decorated Christmas tree, hair a mess, expression unapologetically joyful. Marcus stared longer than he meant to. There was something disarming about it. The openness, the way the photos weren't trying to impress anyone. They were simply honest, full of life in a way Marcus hadn't realized he'd been missing. He felt it then, the quiet, inconvenient pull of interest. Not attraction in the immediate sense, though yes, that too, but curiosity, a sense of of timing, of possibility nudging at the edges of his carefully ordered life. Life had been small lately, predictable, efficient, and suddenly here was this space, this person, this mistake. Marcus lowered his phone. He looked at the couch again. "It's only 10 days," he murmured to the empty apartment. He could sleep there. He'd slept on worse. He could keep his things contained, be respectful, stay out of the way. He could meet this roommate properly, see if the warmth in the photos translated into real life. And if it didn't, if it was awkward, uncomfortable, unbearable, he could still call the landlord in the morning. But if it did... Marcus set his bag down by the couch. He straightened a throw blanket that didn't need straightening, opened the window just enough to let in fresh air, put the kettle on because that felt like the right kind of first impression. When Liam came home later and shrieked like a startled cat, Marcus realized two things at once. First, the photos hadn't lied. Second, staying was the right choice. Later, much later, after the rules and the laughter and the near misses, Marcus lay on the sofa staring at the ceiling, listening to the quiet sounds of the apartment settling around him. The space was cramped. His back would probably complain in the morning. The couch creaked when he shifted. And yet he smiled.
Because sometimes life didn't need careful planning. Sometimes it handed you a clause you hadn't noticed, and if you were smart, or brave, you went with the flow.
And that was today's story, one of 10 stories gently leading us toward Christmas. If this moment stayed with you, feel free to leave a comment or share it with someone who enjoys stories told from the heart. We'll meet again tomorrow for another encounter, another quiet spark, and one step closer to Christmas. Until then, take care and leave a little room for softness.